1 raiders from bun_Vtuber have joined. Ursa Major VT said bunny raid. Bun_Vtuber said bunny raid.
Thank you. I haven't even gotten started yet. Holy shit.
Tiff said hello. Razoria said
Hi.
bunny raid bun raid bunnyraidd. Ursa Major
Welcome
VT
in.
said whoop.
Welcome in, Raiders.
Simon
This is the
Oma
fastest I've
said
ever
hi
been rated.
everyone.
What's up, Tifa? What's up,
Razoria
Simon?
said Razory 3 beep.
Razor, welcome in. Ursa, Bun. What is up, everybody? I don't think I've ever been rated quite that fast. I haven't even started anything yet. But I
Razoria
appreciate it.
said he.
Welcome in.
Tiff B
Said
I think there's a bunny raid.
There absolutely
Ursa
is.
Major VT said sneak attack.
Y'all caught me off guard 100%. How's everybody doing today?
Vtuber said sneak attack for sure.
No, 100%. Y'all got me. How's everybody doing today? I'm just vibing, personally. You know, I've been trying to think about what to talk about today,
said we
and I
big
have
chillin.
No idea. I'm glad to hear it. I have no idea what I want to talk about today. I feel like there's a lot of stuff we could talk about. But yeah, we're just gonna vibe and chat for a little while today. I don't know. You know.
Ursa Major VT
Okay.
said everything and nothing.
Everything and nothing. Anything and everything all of the time. That's what I was thinking of.
Razoria
I haven't watched that
said,
forever.
can you tell me a little about yourself?
Absolutely. So, my name is Minivolved. You can call me Minnie or Min. I am a blind elf VTuber from Canada. And what I usually do around here is play games, because my aim is to share my perspective with everyone as a blind gamer. I'm usually a pretty shy person, but in an environment like this, I never shut up, because rambling is a thing that I'm apparently good at. So yeah, I suppose anything else is kind of, what do you want to know? That could be a good starting point. But yeah, welcome in. Glad to have you. You know. Don't mind me. I'm just cracking open a cherry Coke. Yes, I'm obsessed. I've been drinking almost nothing but the stuff the last couple of days, which I know is not good for me. I guess that's another fact about me. I make terrible health choices. Not proud of it, but there you go. But I usually play games like, you know, some RPGs, Pokemon, Zelda, stuff like that. Kind of whatever catches my attention. I just finished Paper Mario not too long ago, and Mother 3. So it's like mostly Nintendo stuff around here. I did Vtopia a while back. That was a fun time. I haven't done Minecraft in a while, and I've been debating on how I want to approach that again, because I love the game and I do want to play it, but I'm kind of like almost burnt out on it, I guess. I don't know. Kind of working through it. I don't know. Sorry. I'm trying to think of what else to say right now. But yeah, I usually try to play more like more chill stuff. Hey. The Banana Lord cometh. I love it. I don't do this very often, especially on stream, because my setup hates my voice sometimes, but I do love to sing.
Said I didn't do it.
Oh, I know, but you're there. With the chat streams, I can words. Oh my goodness, I can actually look directly at chat, so I can actually see when shit happens. I don't actually need TTS for that for chat streams, but I like to have it on because I know some people enjoy having it on, and for my equally blind viewers, it helps them out too. So accessibility for the win, or something, I guess. I don't know. But what's everybody been up to today? I haven't really done a whole heck of a lot. I got myself some Tim Hortons today. I slept in, and then I realized it was super hot, and I'm like, I need to open my window. I still don't have like a screen in my window, which sucks because then all the bugs can come in. But we're gonna work on rectifying that situation soon, hopefully. So that'll be that, and it'll be nice.
Razoria said I have been playing Stardew Valley.
Ooh, very fun. I've played Stardew before. I never really got into it, but I feel like I should give it like a second chance at some point. I definitely, there's no hate at all. I feel about Stardew Valley the way I feel about Animal Crossing, which is to say, great games, but they're not the type of game that I tend to stick with for very long, unfortunately. But maybe I should give it another chance one day, you know? I have been trying to think about what other things to do lately, so I don't know if Stardew will be on that list. But I respect it a lot. So you know.
Razoria said that was me with Stardew at first. It takes a minute to get into, especially with mods to make your life easier.
That's fair. That's definitely fair. I have mixed feelings about mods. Like, I'm not against using them at all. Like, you know, if you want to use them, tailor your game experience however you want to use them. My whole thing, and I'm not saying this is the case with Stardew Valley because I don't know that that's the case. But my whole thing is when mods are almost necessary to make a game bearable type of thing. And again, not saying that's the case with Stardew. I have no idea if that's the case. I assume not, but, you know. There are other games I've been told, hey, if you play, like, Sonic Adventure 2, don't do it without the mods. And I'm like, I feel like you shouldn't have to be able to enjoy a game. And it's kind of the same thing with Minecraft, right? Where in order for me to play multiplayer, in particular, and even single player actually to an extent, I need mods to help make things a little bit more accessible, right? And while I think it's amazing that they exist and that they are available, I don't like that they're almost a requirement for me to be able to, you know, play, especially with multiplayer, with interacting with other people. So, like, for example, I'll use, like, a mini-map because I can't read the coordinates, so I can't really track those very easily, so the mini-map helps me do that and stuff. And it's great that that's an option. Like, you know, this is more of a me problem than a game problem, if anything. This is more me being frustrated with my own limitations rather than the game itself. So, that's very much a me problem. I try to be all cool about, you know, about my disability, but that doesn't change the fact that it is a disability and there are limitations, and I get frustrated with them sometimes. So, very much a me problem over a game problem, 100%. So, you know, it's unfortunately the thing, those things bleed together for me, which is unfortunate. I was trying to think where this song was from. Speaking of which, you guys can hear the music, yeah? You should be able to. Let me double check. Because the one time I did a chat stream...
Said yes.
Okay, yes. Okay, it is unmuted. Awesome. Also, welcome in, Trick. How's it going today? I was trying to think about where this song was from, and I was like, oh, it's so pretty. And I was like, wait. Diamond and Pearl. Diamond and Pearl. I've actually been debating on whether or not I want to try to play Brilliant Diamond, or I have Shining Pearl.
Simon Oma.
Either one.
Said I would have said if it was muted this time, lol.
Fair enough. To be fair, last time you weren't even, like, listening to it, so that's not on you. But, I appreciate it, Simon. I did try to make sure ahead of time that it was muted and stuff, so glad to see I didn't forget anything this time. Because last time when we did the D&D stream, I had the Spotify thing displayed here on stream, but there was nothing playing, and I was like, oh. Well, I guess if somebody's watching the VOD and they want to listen to what we were listening to, they could just look at the song title and Google it? But, yeah. I'm trying to think, right? I woke up this morning going like, I want to do that chat stream, because I mentioned it yesterday. Because I'm like, I don't know that I want to play the Minish Cap again today. I played it yesterday. And I played it on Monday. And I'm like, I don't know that I want to play it a third time this week. Which I feel like is fair. So I'm like, maybe we'll just do a chat stream. But I'm like, I don't know what to talk about. I did ask the Discord, but I didn't get, I guess people have been, you know, busy and stuff today, which is totally fair. So I'm like, I don't know what I want to focus on for today. I really don't. We're just here vibing. I have zero plan. Because I was kind of like brainstorming topics, right? And Simon, you and I mentioned in our Danganronpa video that like we would dedicate some time to talk about the Chihiro case. And that didn't happen. We just sort of barreled forward, and that's fine. Like, I'm not against that at all. But I'm like, oh man, do I want to dive into that today? The answer's I'm not sure, to be honest. And like Botch was recommending, like, oh, maybe dive into some current events.
Said fair. Simon
yeah,
Oma
right?
Said we can still do that, or do it here. I guess I
Yeah.
could join you for that.
It's all good. I'm not sure that I definitely do want to do it, but I'm also like, I don't know if I want to do it today. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know that I'm really ready to tackle that. I feel like I need to gather my thoughts a little bit more on it. I also feel like with a discussion like that, there's a lot of covering my ass that I need to do that I'm like, do I have the energy to talk about Chihiro today?
Simon Oma
I don't know.
Said it is quite the topic.
It really is, and I feel like there's a lot that we could get into, right? So I'm like, I don't know. Like, part of me is like, I do, but I also don't. I don't know. I really don't know. But like, maybe because of the way Danganronpa is,
Simon Oma
maybe it'd be better if we did
plan a stream or video to do it sometime later, like next week.
Yeah, probably doing it separately in a video would probably be better, just because of the way Danganronpa is and how it like pretty much begs you to barrel forward. I feel like there's not really a good opportunity to stop during the Let's Play itself to really tackle it. So, and I don't know that I'm ready to tackle discussions of potential transphobia and stuff. Or at least stuff that could be interpreted as transphobia. I don't know that I'm ready to tackle that. So I was like, okay, what else can we talk about then? If I'm not gonna dive into that. Like, I'm just like, I could talk
Simon
about
Oma
literally any game.
Said yeah, if could be its own thing on my channel as a Simon Says video.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. That could absolutely be a thing. So that is, I'll hit you up on that later. But I'm also like, what do I want to do now? I could talk about my thoughts on like Minecraft. I feel like we could talk about a ton of stuff, really. But I feel like I could talk about, you know, my thoughts on Minecraft and how I currently feel about it and stuff. And like, I'm like, I don't think that'll be a very long discussion for me, to be honest. Because I've been kind of burnt out on it lately. At the very least,
Simon Oma
it's one of those
Said
things
sounds
where
good, and you could talk about what games you intend to do next.
that is fair. We could definitely work that out. So I do want to dive back into Minecraft, because for those who've been around here for a long time, you know that I've been doing like a bunch of creative mode building and things like that in an old world that I've been playing in and stuff. And for those who've been around the YouTube side, you would have seen my recreation of the Troll Skull Manor from Waterdeep Dragon Heist from D&D. And that was hella fun to do, honestly. I enjoyed the crap out of that. But like overall, I've been kind of like, the idea well has been running dry for me. And like, I don't know if it's just because I've been getting bored with creative mode, or if I just simply have no ideas. Like, it's kind of like writer's block, I guess, if that makes sense. So I'm like, I've been taking like a little bit of a break from the game. I've been like as far as building goes, but I've been like trying to dive back into survival a little bit on my own, just sort of doing the odd thing every now and then. But I just have not, excuse me, I just have not been enjoying the grind for resources. So I haven't been making too much progress on that. But I'm like, maybe I just need, like, I don't know, maybe I just need a new game for a while. You know what I mean? Like something new for a little bit that I could sink my teeth into for at least a little while, right? Because a lot of the games that I've played on here are games that I've played before and kind of know what I'm doing with and stuff like that. But I'm like, maybe I need something new. Something that'll let me discover something new about a new thing. But I'm not sure what that would be. Because, like, I mean, y'all know how much I've been diving into D&D and how much I've been enjoying that. Not something that I've been posting, unfortunately. But that's neither here nor there. I've been diving into it, enjoying the crap out of it, because every time we play, there's always something new happening. Like with Waterdeep Dragon Heist, for example, our last session on Wednesday with my group, we've been going through a part of the module that I'd played through before with another group. But our DM, and I'm not going to talk about exactly what happened just so people don't get spoiled on it in case anybody wants to take a look at it and stuff. I do think going through D&D is best without prior knowledge of, like,
Simon Oma
you know,
said I was trying to avoid suggesting talking about D&D lol.
Simon, you know me at this point. But I'm gonna try not to stick with it for super long. But I'm gonna try to avoid spoilers because I think going into D&D is best, like, without that prior knowledge, as far as, you know, what event is going to take place when type of deal. But our DM, I don't know if it was because he knew that I knew about what was going on beforehand, or if he just wanted to do something cool. I'm willing to bet both. But he threw me for a loop. Specifically me. And it caught me off guard. To the point where, like, I legitimately did not know how to respond in or out of character. And it wasn't like a bad thing that happened. It was something that I wanted, but not in the way that I was expecting it to happen. So it was crazy awesome, and it was just this crazy thing that I did not think would happen in any way, shape, or form. And it was just like a whole new thing, completely unexpected. Whereas playing through the Minish Cap, for example, I've played that game at least, I don't know, like 4 or 5 times. So not very many, but I have a general idea of, you know, what's going to happen when, more or less what I need to do. So there's not really a ton of new things there. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? But I'm thinking in general, as far as gaming goes, I'm not really running into a ton of new experiences. And I'm like, maybe that's what I need for a while, is just something new going on that, I don't know, just to, like, occupy my brain space. Give me something a little less predictable happening. Unfortunately for me, I'm not sure what game that would be, you know? Because a lot of times I kind of have to spoil myself on games in order for me to figure out if I can play them or not. Because I'm not going to spend money on a game that I can't play.
Said been talking with Ursa about doing some Dragon Quest collab if you want to get in on it.
Intriguing. I'm gonna say that's a solid maybe. Because it definitely sounds awesome. I'm just also trying to make sure I don't overwhelm myself with, like, too many things, right? But that definitely does sound amazing. And, like, I'm trying to think.
Said good afternoon, evening everyone.
Swift, welcome in. How you doing today? How's it going? But yeah, like I am definitely trying to think of like something new that I could do, something new that I could possibly play. And like again there's Chrono Trigger that I've been thinking about. And I've seen Let's Plays before, but I've never actually like completed it myself. So I am thinking about doing a potentially like blind playthrough is not what I want to say because it wouldn't be entirely blind. I don't care if Twitch banned the term. um but like I guess somewhat, if that makes sense. I do know that it's a long one. There's like 13 endings, and it can get a little bit confusing at times. So it'd probably be one of those things where I would permit chat to help me out with. But you know, something like that would be cool. I also thought about Final Fantasy VI, but I'm also like, I don't think I want to commit to such a long game because that game is insane. Really, really good. But it's one of those things where it's long enough that I know
Swift
I will
Simeon
burn out.
said, did you try the free demo for Heartbound or did the game not look appealing to you?
I forgot to look into that. You know what I'm gonna do?
Simon Oma said Dragon Quest is pretty long too.
That is fair. And like Danganronpa is too, also, to be entirely fair. That's partly why I'm not opposed to taking breaks every now and then, because like it gives me a chance to like cool off from it, even while editing. And like it 100% it's taking us so much longer because we're recording it and editing it and taking the time for that. Excuse me. I've also been thinking about Phoenix Wright, like Ace Attorney. I have the original trilogy on Switch. But I'm gonna go ahead and look up Heartbound so I can bookmark it and not forget this time, because I know you've mentioned that to me before.
Simon Oma
I'm gonna look at it right
said
now.
I would totally join you for Ace Attorney.
I'm looking at this right now. Yeah, no, I feel like Ace Attorney is probably one of the ones that I'll do on stream. So it'll be definitely interesting. I'm very much I'm looking at the trailer for Heartbound right now because I feel like I don't want to forget about it again. This looks interesting. I like the art style.
Swift Simeon
It's very cute.
said
like,
I need to complete Ace Attorney.
Yeah, I've finished the first game once. And I've not played the other two in the trilogy. So I think that would be an interesting one to do. Heartbound definitely looks interesting. I am intrigued. The art style is cute. Like there's some cool shit. It looks like I'll be able to see it too, which is
Simon
like
Oma
kind of the most
said I
important
have played
thing.
them all, even the fan translated game.
I forgot that there was a fan translated game. Okay, I'm gonna add this to my wish list so I don't forget about it. Add to wish list. There we go. I guess since I have Steam open, anybody else have other game suggestions? How much is this actually? Out of curiosity. Okay, there's the demo. but where's like the actual... Ooh, it's 20% off right now. Oh, it's like...
Swift Simeon.
It's only
Said
12
Small
bucks?
Saga is another short game I enjoyed.
Intriguing. Okay. So Heartbound, even when it's not on sale, it's like 12 bucks Canadian. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Now let's look up Small Saga. Like, you're just gonna hear me look up games and give my thoughts on just like the trailers, I guess. I don't know. I'm curious. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, so I probably should have this on screen, to be honest. Oh, so it's... Is this like an RPG? Oh, this looks so cute! Okay. Okay, no, this looks cute. This looks very cute. Also looks like another thing I can see. So, possibilities. Definitely. Looks like shit gets a little bit crazy. I love that you're armed with just like a little pocket knife. That's adorable.
Simon Oma. Said I recommend Master Detective Archive Raincode to buy, but it's only on Switch.
Right. I mean, that I can definitely, like, I should be able to play that. That's one of those ones. Visual novels, at least for me, definitely one I'll want to do with somebody because, you know, reading. Same reason for
Swift Simeon.
Danganronpa
Said the
and
mage
stuff.
with the lighter is adorable.
Honestly, this looks so cute. Okay, yeah. See, I appreciate the recommendation. I never would have found a game like this if it wasn't for that. I tend not to look around on Steam very much, mainly because I hate the UI, and I absolutely
Simon Oma.
despise how
Said
things
that
are
one is mostly
organized.
voice acted.
Yes, I know, but there's still a lot of reading involved and stuff like that, so I'd probably still want a little bit of help during for that. But that is definitely something I'm considering. I love... Okay, this is so cute. Okay. You know what? I should look at what's already on my wish list. How do I find that? Where do I go?
Simon Oma. Said oh yeah Tifa and I would help you.
Oh, for sure. I believe that. Where's my wish list? There it is. Okay. Let's look on here. Oh yeah, I was debating buying Sonic Generations, but I don't know. Not sure about that. I have the PC version of the Ace Attorney trilogy. Not sure if I'm gonna get it on PC. I don't really see the point if I already have it on Switch too. Like, I don't really feel like dropping another 40 bucks on it, basically. Like, 40 bucks ain't bad, but I'm like, I don't know. Then there's Octopath Traveler. I've heard is a really good game. It's like 83 bucks though. I feel like it's one, visually speaking, I feel like it's one that I'd have trouble with. But it also seems really good. Then there's Omori, which I've seen like about 1 million video essays on. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles is definitely one that's on my list here. Still not sure if I'll get it, but it looks pretty good.
Simon Oma. Said Octopath is awesome but small text you'll need to zoom on. And it's long like most turn-based RPGs but it's great.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm running on a 50-inch monitor, so I don't see the text being too much of an issue. I mean, if I need to zoom in on it, I'm sure it won't be a huge issue. Can't be any worse than Baldur's Gate, honestly. I'm also looking at Chained Echoes, which seems to be another like RPG type game. I like RPGs. I have trouble sticking with the longer ones usually, but I like them. I'm not really sure what Chained Echoes is about, to be entirely honest, but I have heard it's good. That's all I can say. And then there's Small Saga there on that list.
Simon Oma said it might be hard did you to read with the text colors.
I mean, maybe. I'll have to look into it more. Okay. Yeah, I don't have a ton on my wish list. That's about all I've got. And like that's totally okay. So some of these, if I do play them, probably won't happen for a little while. But I might pick up Heartbound next month because it's cheap and it looks really good. So it's definitely one of those that I will 100% mess around with. I completely forgot about it, and I can get the demo, so I don't necessarily have to buy it to test it out, which is nice. So there is that. We have a little bit of a potential list here, to be honest. That I should be writing
said
down.
Small Saga has a demo as well.
Oh, awesome. I can test both those out. Good to know. I'm not going to download them right now just because I don't want to end up messing with my
said Octopath Traveler was so good.
Too much. I've heard it's awesome. And I've been definitely curious about it for quite a while. I'm trying to look at the game library I have already to see what I'd like to play as well. We've done
Simon Oma.
We've done
said
9
it is
hours,
very
9
fun.
persons,
I'd join
9
you for
doors.
it too.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be down for that. But yeah, okay, so I've done 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. Let's see. I have Potions of Curious Tale that I'm still stuck on. I do want to figure out what the heck's going on with that. I would stream Pal World, but it does not like OBS, at least on my setup. Melatonin, I've yet to try. Like, I've played it, but I've yet to stream it. Very chill rhythm game. It's a little bit bright, though, which kind of hurts my eyes. But it's very fun. It's like, basically, what if Rhythm Heaven was lo-fi? You know? It's very chill. Have not dove into House Flipper in a while. Maybe I should do that and see, play that for
Simon
a little bit.
Oma said we need another game to collab in between Paper Marios.
we definitely could. I have not tried streaming Hi-Fi Rush. I don't think that's one I'll be able to actually finish, which is unfortunate. I could play Dust and Elysian Tale again. It's been a long time.
Swift Simeon said Coffee Talk is a game I got with Game Pass yonks ago but never played. It looks chill though.
Coffee Talk, eh? I am intrigued. I have Core Keeper. Would anybody be down to watch Core Keeper sometime? And then there's Chrono Trigger. Because, like, I don't know if I want to do an entire, like, series on Core Keeper, but, like, every now and then, maybe? At the very least one time. Let's look at Coffee Talk. I have Steam open, I might as well, you know what I mean? What do we got going on here? Again, I should probably... Part of me is like, I should probably have the trailers on screen, but I also don't want to get in shit for copyright. So I'm like, who knows? What am I looking at here? Is this like a cafe simulator? Is that what this is? Oh, that's so cute. You can do like latte art. Okay, the latte art. This is going. Oh, but the art style is neat. It's a little bit harsh on my eyes, kind of, but.
Swift Simeon said sort of, you listen to fantasy people problems and serve them coffee.
Okay, but like, that's going on my wish list. Let's see. It's like $16. That's not terrible, honestly. That's actually really good. Okay. Okay. Shit. Y'all, there are games in my future. This looks so this looks interesting, genuinely. Like, I do really like the way the art looks. Okay. Very neat. Very neat. Okay. I'm gonna load up my Switch and see what games I have on there. My pool of options has grown, apparently, which is very cool. Let's see. I was thinking about Pokemon. I was thinking about playing Shining Pearl. I could do like another Nuzlocke possibly, like Heart Gold, something like that. Because I have like a randomizer set up for that. I could do Mario Odyssey again. I haven't played that in quite a while. Mario RPG. What is this? Fire Emblem Engage. I don't think I want to do that. That was fun the first time I streamed it, though. But, like, it's a long one. It's a long haul. What else could I do? What else could I do? I have Dragon Quest Builders, too. Let me think.
Simon Oma said I was having a problem of what to play too. Finally started up Pokemon Scarlet.
Oh, there you go. I have Doki Doki Literature Club that I do want to play, but I'm worried that I'm gonna struggle reading it because the text boxes are bright fucking pink. And I understand the aesthetic, but oh my god, why?
Swift
Maybe
Simeon
it won't be a big deal on my TV,
said I should
though.
really get around to beating the Elite Four in Scarlet.
I feel that. I feel that. Ooh! Yoshi's Crafted World. If we ever want like a cute day, like a cute game day, I haven't played Crafted World in forever. That's a whole thing. Also, I have Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. I feel like we should try that one day. Because, like, just to have something slightly different from the normal Pokemon experience, I don't know how you guys feel about that. But, you know, possibilities. Definite possibilities. But like for real, thank you for the suggestions. I really appreciate them. Cause like games like that with art like that, I should be able to play. So if you're if you're wondering what type of stuff to suggest, there you go. So, like, definitely appreciated. Because, like, I often don't go looking because I don't like the way Steam is set up, and most game shops online, I don't understand. I don't understand the UI most of the time, and I don't understand how sighted people manage it, because I think they're a nightmare to navigate, and I spend so much of my mental energy just trying to figure out how the damn thing works, and then I just don't want to look anymore, because I'm just like, I'm just sick of this. I'm tired of this horrible experience, so I'm just not gonna look.
Swift Simeon.
But then I know I miss out on shit.
Just to give you the exact opposite in art, West of Loathing is fun game, but a white screen hell.
But a white screen hell, interesting. I mean, I'm gonna look it up, just so I know what you're talking about. Wait, Steam, where you at? Get back here. Nope. Fuck's sake, get back here. Okay. See, I'm just assuming everything you're mentioning to me is on Steam. Oh, yep, sure enough, there it is. Okay. Oh, yeah, I see. Okay. I mean, it pops, though, which is nice. Oh, it's all like stick figures? This is neat. So everything pops, which is great.
Swift
because everything has a nice outline
said it
to
is a legit good game with some good humor.
It definitely looks interesting. I feel like this is one of those games that if I were to get it, I'd probably play it on my own because I'd have to do it in short bursts. Because everything pops, which is great, but it is also insanely bright, so I definitely see what you mean.
Swift Simeon said it's on the Switch as well.
Okay, neat. Ooh, it's on Mac as well. Neat. But, okay. But this is probably one that I wouldn't stream just because of how harsh it is visually for me. Because, like, I'm looking at this trailer and stuff going like, oh, wow, okay, I can see it, but also, ow. It's, like, the best and worst at the same time. Which is unfortunate, but it's still going on my wish list, probably for personal time, but, you know. Is there... Oh, there's DLC for it. Interesting. Excuse me. So with the DLC, it's like $20 basically. Okay. That's pretty good. That's not bad. I'm used to Nintendo prices where you're paying like half your fucking paycheck for a game. Listen, I'm sorry. Y'all down in the States are like, oh man, Nintendo games like $60. That sucks. And it does. I'm not saying that it don't. We're paying like
Swift Simeon
after taxes and
said
everything.
it has a sequel called Shadows Over Loathing if you want more magic versus Western.
Intriguing. But yeah, when you come up here, up to Canada, and buy a game in Canada, it's like $79 before taxes and stuff, and by the time you're done, you're basically paying $100 a game. That's not including any DLC. It's just the flat cost after tax and everything. It is redonkulous. So to see a bunch of games that are like
Simon Oma
$20 or less,
said yep, game's expensive here.
It sucks, especially Nintendo. Like, it's kind of crazy to think about. So like, you know, running into a game that's like 20 bucks or less, even 40 bucks or less. Not bad. Not bad. You know? But that's me complaining because I'm poor. It's fine. I'm gonna look up that sequel because I'm curious. I might as well look into it, you know? Wait, did I spell something wrong? Hold on. Alright.
Swift Simeon
Oh, there we go.
said people forget how good disc deals can be. I can buy a disc for half the price. Xbox will sell it to me online.
Oh, sure. I haven't gone to buy a game, like a physical game, in a long time. Which, is not fantastic for me. But see, I'm talking about, like, what I was talking about was even if I went to a game store and bought, say, if I went to a store and went to buy a physical copy of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe again, one, it would cost me the exact same I paid back when it first came out. But I would be paying another $100 for it. Physical. And then I go online, same exact price. Like, it's redonkulous to me. I don't know why I'm saying redonkulous, to be
Swift
honest.
Simeon said Nintendo do be like that, sad face.
It's awful. I remember back on the Wii U, they had Nintendo Selects, where they would, like, I guess, pick some titles and offer them on some sort of discount. That's how I got Wind Waker HD. Was through Nintendo Selects. And like, I think I maybe saved like $10 on it or something. So, you know. But like, they don't really seem to have that anymore, because like anytime I go to like the deals section on the Switch, it's always like, you know, indie titles, third-party games and stuff like that, which is great. But it's like almost never first party. Like, Nintendo never puts their shit on sale, like, ever. And it's depressing. It's depressing. It's like, look, I know I'm not rich or anything, so I should probably be putting my cash toward, you know, better stuff. But like, I don't know. I want to entertain myself too, you know? I feel like, is slow mode on? Why is slow mode on? Hold on.
Swift Simeon said the only sale Nintendo does is the 2 games for £80 if you are a Nintendo Online member.
Oh yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting about that. I should take advantage of that more. But I don't buy games very often. I really don't. Cause like, y'all have pretty much heard the entirety of my Switch and Steam library. just today. It's not big. It's not big. And like, I mean, I also have stuff like Okami and stuff, which Okami is a great game. I have the Switch version. So like, I don't know, maybe we could cover that one day. Who knows? Maybe. And like, so there's like, you know, a couple titles I didn't mention, but like, those are ones that I know that I won't stream just for one reason or another. You know. But So now I have a huge list of things. I'm definitely going to experiment with some of those demos and see what I like and don't like. And I'm gonna like try to compile a little bit of a list to see what the community can vote on as far as what to actually play in the near future. Because I feel like having like a list to vote, like having some sort of narrowed down list of options might help with, you know, having
Simon Oma
making that decision.
said Octopath should have a demo to both Switch and Steam.
Very nice. Very nice. I will probably get it. I will probably get it on Steam. Probably. But either way, demo, very nice. So, to be honest,
Swift
like, why
Simeon
haven't I already tried
said,
demo?
have you ever looked at Jazzpunk?
I've heard of it. I'm not really sure what it's about, but I know Lucagen played it at one time. But I don't really know too much about it beyond
said
that.
It's a fever dream of a game.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Let's see. Goodness gracious, Steam, I need you to not fight me, please. Sweet Lord. Okay. Jazz, there's a director's cut. Okay. I'm looking this up. Okay, so like the first thing I see when I click on this game is just an eyeball. What am I looking at? Hang on. Let's see. I found the director's cut. That's about it. But like, I don't even know what's happening on the screen right now. I don't even know what I'm looking at. I just realized, am I fucking making reaction content right now? I'm basically like reacting to shit at this point. Except y'all can't see it, so I'm not technically stealing anyone's content. Reaction content's a weird thing for me. I am so confused. Maybe I'll have to look up some videos on this at a later point, because like, what is happening? But yeah, no, I have weird feelings on reaction
Swift
content.
Simeon said the pictures show the actual game, the video is just odd.
I see. Well, that explains my confusion then. But alright, can I... Hold on. Hang on. Alright. I've gone back and I'm looking at the pictures. That's a cool looking room. Oh, whoa. Okay. Yeah, I feel like this is one I'll definitely have to look at, like, videos on, like, about. Because I feel like this is gonna be real weird. This seems very wild. Okay. Something to look up later. Cool. Sorry. I have got myself very, like, focused on... Or not focused. I'm not focused, is the thing. But it's okay. I'm also vibing to this song right now. Fucking Kirby vibes. Am I right? Ooh! Should I go out and get Kirby in the Forgotten Land? Should I do that? Should I play that at some point? Because I love me a good Kirby game, but... excuse me. I feel like I should play Kirby in the Forgotten Land at some point.
Said love me some Kerbo.
Okay, that's going on my little mental list. I don't have the game currently, but I played the demo at one point. It was very fun. So I feel like it's definitely a game that I would enjoy. And I think it would be fun to play on stream. I know the demo didn't, like, show off absolutely everything, but, you know. I think it'd be fun. I think it's a full price game, though, which is unfortunate for me. But, you know, that'll probably be a couple months down the road. I could probably play other Kirby games. Because, let me think. I've got Kirby and the Amazing Mirror on Nintendo Switch Online. So there is that. Let me double check something. We're gonna launch back into the Switch right here, real quick. Let me think. Let me think. Welcome back from the ads. Ooh, Metroid Fusion. That's hard as balls. I'm not good at Metroid Fusion. Let's see.
Minivolve. Said Swift Simeon rolled a D20 and got a 12.
Very nice. Yeah, I've got Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. I remember that one being interesting. I can do Kirby 64. I don't think I'll be 100%ing that because I'm not good at that, but there is that as a possibility.
Tick said Metroid Fusion spooked me as a kid, especially with a certain jump scare.
Metroid Fusion is genuinely a survival horror game. You can't... Listen, if you want to argue with me, go ahead, but that will not change my belief that Metroid Fusion is genuinely a survival horror game. With a Metroid skin. Which, it's perfect. Like, a lot of... So, my thoughts on Metroid Fusion, right? Excuse me. I personally think it's a challenging game. Obviously, if you know what you're doing, it's not so bad, but it's challenging. A lot of people complain that it's very, like, too linear for a Metroid game and stuff. I don't personally hate that, because it has a story to tell. And it's a story of somebody who was stripped of her normal power and agency and is fighting for survival in a world that she no longer has control in. She's taking it back. And there is a whole process to doing that that could involve her dying at any moment. And also, she's running into a force that has all of her former abilities and power, that is hunting her down, essentially. So, you know, there's that. It's a good game. It's a genuinely good game. Again, I hesitate to dive into Metroid games because I'm not very good at them. Me and platformers don't really get along too well for the most part.
Said first time I saw that enemy, the close-up made me jump.
Oh, 100%. I actually have an old video on my old channel of me playing that and getting to that point and stuff. It didn't turn out to be a great video, to be honest. It's definitely not my best work. I say as though I'm like the greatest content creator in the universe, which I am not. Definitely not my best though. It was a good time. It was back in the day. There's this YouTuber that I used to interact with pretty often. And he's still making content, Rock Paper Mario. I guess shoutouts to him. Highly recommend. But he used to do like community events with his friend. And there was one that I was a part of, which was a thing called Summertime Radness, and this was like the second time they did it, so it was called Summertime Radness 2, the scary sequel, where it was just, you play spooky shit in the summertime for a period of time, and what you would do is you'd make a video, either, you know, talking about something spooky or playing a spooky game, and adding it to their playlist, basically. And I did several for that, actually. I did Minecraft Story Mode, I did Metroid Fusion, I did that one part of Dust and Elysian Tale where you're going through the Haunted Meadow and dealing with all the zombies and shit. I did Slender the 8 Pages for a thing. And like a good chunk of stuff. I even did a Mario Kart video where I just went through like Twisted Mansion and some of the other spooky levels. Just, you know, it was a good time. Good times were had. I think I even did Super Metroid as well. So they were basically just little one-shots from back in the day. And of course that was on my old channel and stuff. And, you know, they're still up. They still exist, thankfully. I'm glad that, if anything, I was able to keep my old channel up. So all that old legacy content, as I call it, I guess is still there. I don't imagine anybody really goes to watch that these days. I certainly don't expect anyone to. But I'll sometimes look back at it. Mainly just for nostalgia, I guess. Good times were had. I used to put out so much content back in the day. I used to have so much energy for that, and now I don't have as much. Which is partly why I stick to streaming for the most part, because I just don't have the energy to do quite that much editing. You know.
Bach 921 said, how many communist Yoshis could a communist Yoshi if a communist Yoshi could communist Yoshi?
Yes. That is my final answer. Welcome in, B-Hog. How you doing today? We're rambling about random stuff, mainly kind of loosely going through potential game suggestions for future streams. We have quite the I don't really have a formal list at the moment, but
Bach 921
there have definitely been
said,
some suggestions. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, so I'm hoping to dive into some new stuff in the future. You know what I mean?
Simon Oma said, just wait until Paper Mario 2 for all the communist Yoshi.
Damn straight. We're gonna make the effort to make Communist Yoshi happen. And we're gonna name it after you, B-Hawk. I can only hope. I can only hope. That is my intention. Not sure if it'll happen. but we're gonna try.
Bach 921 said Rupog Rupog.
The only thing I will promise is that we will try. I cannot guarantee that it'll happen, but we will try. But you know, it's fine, and maybe if that Yoshi's a different color, they could be undercover. We don't know. He could be undercover. It's fine. Sorry, I'm trying not to inhale my cherry coke while laughing. I definitely need it though, hang on. I need the drink. It's not
Bach
helping with the hydration,
921
but you know, it's fine.
said undercover Yoshi trying to suss out all the communist Yoshis.
Exactly, right? So, I almost like that idea better, to be honest. But we'll see what we can do. We'll definitely see what we can do. Let me think here. So, I should really start writing a list. I should really start writing a list of games. Because, I mean, I've got a few in my wish list here, and I've got a few on the Switch and stuff, but I should really start putting shit together. Am I gonna do that right now? Probably not. But I will definitely write a list. I'm going to test out some of the demos and stuff like that, see how I like them. And from there, we'll narrow things down a little bit. And I'll make a list and post it in the Discord so everybody can vote on it. You know. Because Discord has that new fancy polls feature. You know. And I've yet to try it out. Excuse me. So that's probably going to be, I don't know, within the next week or so. I'll get a list going and we can decide what we're doing. And it'll be one of those things where that list will inevitably get smaller and smaller as we get through them. But it'll be like, that list will be things that I do want to do. It'll just be a matter of people can vote on when I do them, basically. If that makes any kind of sense. Perhaps I'm overthinking it. That is entirely possible. What time is it right now? It is 5:31. We have been here for an hour and almost 15 minutes. Basically an hour and 15 minutes at this point. Okay. What do I talk about? What do I do? What do y'all want to know? Anybody have anything they want to ask me? Any kind of anything? I don't know. If not, that's okay. I'm just like, how do I fill time now? We've just been vibing, and it's been good. I'm having a good time vibing, honestly.
Bach 921 said let's talk about the plight of the African penguins.
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? There's
Tiff Tiffby said lol, sorry, just realized the current music is a remix of one of the tracks from FF7.
Oh yeah, no, you're good. No worries. I didn't actually realize this was from Final Fantasy VII, to be honest. This is definitely not. Oh, is Spotify not refreshing? It's not. Hang on. Hang on. Let me fix some. Hang on.
Bach 921 said I would say let's talk about how to commit tax fraud, but this seems to be a rather tax fraud free zone.
Yeah, no tax fraud, please. Oh no, what did Spotify? Spotify, what are you doing? There we go. I don't know why it was not refreshing. It must have been not doing that for a while. Oops. Well, that's awkward.
Tiff Tiffby
Man.
said Spotify, go home. You're drunk.
Honestly, right? Honestly, I think it was more OBS, just kind of not wanting to
Bach
do things proper,
921
because I'm like, wait a minute.
said drunk, go home. You're Spotify.
Because I was like looking at the thing for what song it was, and I was like, why did that not change? Oh crap, how long has it been doing that? Probably most of the stream, which is awkward, so oops. It usually doesn't give me shit. Well, I guess now you know what I do, is I literally just cover up part of the overlay to display Spotify. That's very awkward. But it's fine. It's fine. What I should do is make a scene specifically for chat streams.
Bach 921 said this song slaps.
It's pretty good. Oh good, now it's changing when it should. Awesome. Okay. Spotify is now behaving. But yeah, what I should do is, like, I have this scene which I use on every stream. But like for chat streams, I should have one dedicated to that, which will probably be what looks like this with some back-end changes that y'all
Bach
won't notice, but I will.
921 said pat Spotify on the head.
Man, I have mixed feelings on Spotify just in general. But it's the thing that I have that seems to be the easiest to work with, so I use it for stream mostly. But you know, I mean, I use it for personal use too, but like, you know.
Swift Simeon said I doubt Spotify has it, but Barbie Boutique track 4 is a true banger.
Intriguing. So I know some people may have mixed feelings about Game Chops, but most of my music comes from them. So it's kind of more of a matter of whether or not they've put it up. I have been trying to look for other royalty-free sources that I can use that, you know, because I've also looked into paying for licenses and stuff, but that can get quite expensive, and I do not have cash flow for that, unfortunately. So I've been trying to look into other sources that I can use that won't get me in shit for copyright. That also isn't supporting Game Chops, which is kind of been up to some funky stuff. I'm not gonna really get into the politics of that.
Swift Simeon said all the music from Heartbound is royalty free.
Very cool. But I mean, just for general stuff like this, because I don't really want to, what I really want for my background music, like, I do appreciate the lo-fi. I think it's chill, I think the vibe is nice. But what I want is something a little closer to what I listen to personally, which is to say a little bit more on the rock end. Because I'll listen to, like, a lot of metal and stuff. I don't know that I necessarily want metal, but, like, you know, more alt rock and stuff like that. Just something, you know. But, like, you know, if there wasn't going to be an issue with copyright, I would literally just play my favorite songs. and that'd be that, because that's just my vibe, and I'm gonna stick to it, right? But since I don't want to get you know copyright strikes or sued or whatever the fuck, I ain't gonna do that. But I would if I could, you know? But I have not found a source that has stuff like that I actually like and want to listen to. So I've stuck with the lo-fi because it seems to be the easiest to find, um, and genuinely nice. But I do think it would be cool if I could cater my setup and stuff a little bit more toward my personal interests and stuff. Like put a little bit more of myself into at least how things look and sound as far as music and layouts go. Cause I mean I put myself into my streams and shit. Like, when I talk about stuff, you're getting my genuine thoughts, you're getting my genuine opinions and stuff. But like, I feel like reflecting some of my interests and stuff visually and through background music would be pretty cool. And I do kind of have that going on with the way my layout currently is. Like you can see the ace flag and the disability flag in the background and stuff like that. I've got the fantasy vibe going on with my Vtuber and stuff like that. So it's like, there's some reflection there. So I'm not like not there. But it'd be cool to have like a little bit more of that. You know what I'm saying? Something to think about at the very least. Something that I have been thinking about for a while. And like I haven't been putting a rush on it because I think what I have going on right now is fine. So it's kind of like if it ain't broke, don't fix it, if that makes sense. So I'm not like in a rush to change it, but I'm also like if I can find something, I wouldn't be against looking into it, So I mean it's like what happens when every content creator does stuff for a while. Eventually, your shit's gonna change and evolve and stuff like that. So I'm like, why not pick the direction you go? At least a little bit. It's kind of a whole thing. This track here, though, I've never played Outer Wilds. I don't know what the game is like. I know nothing about it. But this track always just
Swift Simeon
puts me in a
said
thinking
do a flip
mood.
is my motto in life.
Do a flip. This track always gets me in like a little bit of a thinking mood. Like, I see in the album art there's like a little bit of a fire thing going on, so I'm just like picturing like sitting by a campfire with somebody just playing a song, and then you just kind of like drift off into fucking space or whatever. Is Outer Wilds a good game? I don't know anything about it. Anybody know about Outer Wilds? That's my question.
Bach 921 said at Swift Simeon that's what they all say.
That is what they all say. Actually, you know what's really funny about that? There was one time, the last time I visited the blind school last year. It's coming up again. It'll be the end of next month. I'm gonna go back there for a bit. Mainly because my sister and some people are coming. They're trying to get me to stay for the reunion and stuff, but I'm like, I literally live in the next town over. Like, I kind of just want to go home, kind of deal. So like, I might, just come for like the first day or whatever and just chill with people. But I don't think I want to spend the entire weekend there. But like, when I went there last year, they were doing this whole thing out,
Simon Oma
out front.
said too bad I live too far to go to that and see you.
I know, right? It'd be cool to meet up, Simon. It'd be very cool. But yeah, last time I went, they had this whole like because it's the every time I go, it's like the school's birthday essentially. So they call it Celebration Day, and they basically have like the whole day is like dedicated to, you know, there's usually like an assembly where they just sort of talk about all kinds of shit, and then there's just like all kinds of other fun stuff going on during the day. So in the morning, they had this whole thing set up outside with different games, different stations to do stuff at, and like everybody was in groups. So like after a certain amount of time, each group would move on to like the next thing, and it's kind of like a fun fair, you know. There was this point where everybody got called to the center where they like decided that some of the staff were going to play like musical chairs or whatever, or do something, and one of the people involved, one of the people near the end, was actually the principal. um and I was cheering him on because like he used to be a teacher, he used to be one of my teachers, and you know, so I was just like cheering him on, like, yeah bud, you got this, man. And there was this one kid this one kid near me. I just hear him. He stands out above the crowd. He's like, "Yo, Mr. M, do a flip." It was really funny. Because like it was just this one dude just standing out amongst the crowd, and I'm like, "Yo."
Said lol 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 lol.
And like nobody ended up acknowledging this dude. But it made me chuckle a little bit. It made me chuckle a little bit. And then I found my sisters, or I guess they found me. Cause like we all came from different bits. I came from the next town over, and they came from like over an hour away, kind of deal. So like I think they actually got there before me because I woke up late. But but it was really funny to me. But I am thinking about going there at least for Celebration Day. My sister was trying to get me to stay for like the reunion itself, and I'm like, I don't know that I want to do that, right? Because then it's like I'd have to stay in the dorms for like the weekend.
Min, always waking up late.
Honestly, like actually though, that's accurate. But like I was like, I don't know that I want to stay for the reunion because one, I don't like these people enough. I like my sister, like I love my sisters and stuff, and I do want to see them, right? So I'm like, I'll go for like the one day, but I also don't want to stay in the dorms in the beds that are not very comfy, honestly. And I'm like, I don't know that I want to spend a weekend there. I feel like that's a little too much of a callback to shit I was all too eager to leave behind, you know? I'm just like, yeah, you know, I don't really want to do that. Like if I can go and then, you know, if I can come back the next day maybe. But also going back and forth, it's like that's like $40 one way if I were to take an Uber. You know. And like I don't want to fight with the bus system because that'll take me a couple hours from where I'm at. And I'm not here for that. I'd rather pay $40 for an Uber and get there in 20 minutes. You know what I mean? So I'm like, listen, I'll go for Celebration Day. I'll hang out for that. And then I'll go home. Because
Bach 921 said down with the bus system.
Listen, the bus system, depending on where you are, the bus system is kind of a fucking terrifying nightmare. Right? Depending on where you're at. But in a lot of cases it's real good. It can be helpful, but it's kind of a nightmare in general. But like, you know, like I will never take the bus in like say Toronto. I don't know if any of you have heard about the drama surrounding the TTC and how the I think it was like the CEO, the person in charge of the TTC, was like basically saying that at one point there was a woman who got like attacked on the TTC, and the CEO basically blamed her citing the fact that she should not have been alone, type of thing. And I'm like, maybe I should do something about the fact that people are getting attacked on
Simon
your
Oma
thing.
said it's probably still beats Winnipeg.
Probably. It probably does. Unfortunately, that's not okay. And the fact that Winnipeg's is so bad is terrifying. Genuinely terrifying. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to get on the bus one day at risk of getting randomly stabbed. Like, no thank you. I'll take my chances in an Uber. And Uber has its own fair share of problems. Thankfully, where I'm at, I haven't seen any of that. But I've heard some horror stories about
Bach 921
Uber. So
said yeah, maybe she shouldn't have been alone, but it's also their job to help protect people so they don't have to be with someone all the time.
yeah, but it's like she wasn't like it's like you can't blame the victim for having been attacked. Like, this person should have been able to go home independently. You know? Like, okay, yeah, buddy system in public, probably the best idea just in general, sure. But, you know, not everybody has that luxury of having someone with them all of the time.
Swift Simeon said this is why as much as I'd like to leave the UK I don't.
Like, and like, to be entirely fair, this doesn't happen like all of the time, right? Like, but it happens enough to make me like, yeah, listen, I'm a visibly disabled person, and I have heard horror stories from my own friends who have been attacked, because they were disabled and couldn't defend themselves. You know, like, some people just think it's okay to just step up and fuck with a disabled person because they can't fight back. And, no. I mean, it should go without saying that is not okay, you know? And like, I remember when I'm not gonna go into exact details on what happened to my friend, because that's her personal story and I don't want to like dive into it, but I do remember shortly after it happened, I think she called me a few days later and told me about it, and she was still, even after a couple days, still very shaken up about it. And now it's been at least 2 years since it happened, and it still fucks with her because it was an extremely traumatic experience that she experienced just out in public, and there were witnesses that chose not to help her. Like, she could have died that day.
Tiff Tiffby said that's horrible.
It's awful. And she's been dealing with all kinds of other stuff since then.
Simon Oma
and stuff, but like,
said damn, and I thought getting robbed on an Ottawa bus was bad.
that is bad. Like, it's all bad. But, you know, my friend was hurt, and nobody around her gave a shit. Like, she was very lucky that this person that attacked her didn't do anything, like, didn't essentially kill her, because she could have died. And like, and that was for her just existing in public. She had the audacity to exist in public and get some fresh air. That's all she wanted in her day. And that's what happened to her for. Like, not okay. Not okay. So yeah, I'm like,
Bach 921
I don't want to put myself in that position.
said I'm not saying American bus systems are any better, but what the hell is going on up in Canada on the buses?
Far too much. There's a lot going on in Canada that, like, I feel like a lot of people in the States are just not aware of. Like, Canada's great on the surface, but there is a dark side. And I know that's the case in the States too. It's just a lot of the darker stuff seems to be a lot more visible in the States right now. But there's good and bad. There's goods and bads to both, right? And like again, I don't think where I am at, because to be fair, what happened to my friend was not on the buses. She was just out in a park. That doesn't really change how awful it was, but you know. But I think where I am, for the most part, that isn't a huge issue here. But I will never take the bus in Toronto. I will never take the bus in Ottawa. Apparently I'm not taking the bus in Winnipeg either. Fuck. But like, I think where I'm at, it's mostly okay. I just don't want to deal with it. I just don't like how inefficient it is and how long it takes to get anywhere. So thankfully that's not a giant issue for me, but even still, just knowing that it's gotten as close as to happen to some of my best friends is enough to make me very wary of taking the bus.
Simon Oma said Ottawa was decent until they brought the light rail in and ruined it.
Yeah. I think I was around there just before they brought that. Like, I think I left just before they brought that in, or like just as they were bringing it in. Something like that. Because I do remember hearing about it when I lived there, but of course that was a very brief period of time, so for me. But I do remember when I was in Ottawa, like, the buses weren't too bad. There was definitely a lot. Thankfully, I lived near a bus terminal, so it was relatively easy for me to catch a bus to where I wanted to go. So I think that helped a lot. But it wasn't the best. It was definitely easier than Brampton. I did not like the Brampton bus system. Again, not because anything bad happened to me on the buses, thankfully. It was more just, it's inefficient. It, you know, it didn't come to certain parts of town as often as other parts of town. So if you missed a bus, you were fucked for a while if you were in a certain part of town. And stuff like that, you know? So it was less about my safety and more about
said where I used to live I had the
itself.
choice of 7 buses within a 15 minutes walk which would all take me to work. I miss that.
Yeah, that's great. When I lived when I went to college, right? For the most part, I lived on streets where I was in like within 5 minutes of a bus that would take me straight to school. And I do mean straight. Like a literal straight line some of the time, you know? And like I remember where my brother used to live, he had a bus that would take him almost entirely, like with a little bit of runaround, it got him pretty much straight to work for the most part, so wasn't too bad kind of deal. But I lived in a place that, like, I had a bus that took me to the gym, I had a bus that took me to school, I had a bus that took me to the grocery store, I had a bus that took me all the way across town to see my friend, which hilariously enough was the same bus that took me to school, just further. You know, so like, if you're lucky and you end up in the right area, the buses are an asset, absolutely. But depending on where you live, there's a safety issue no matter when you go outside. And I don't mean to say that to breed like paranoia or anything. But it's like, you're going out in public, you're dealing with people that you don't know, essentially. So like, you never know what's gonna happen. So like, anytime you go out, you should always be careful. Right? But some places are definitely more unsafe than others. So it's like, you know, you gotta stay frosty. I say this as someone who's genuinely very anxious when it comes to traveling, but like, don't let it intimidate you too much, kind of thing. If you're gonna go out, keep your wits about you. Pay attention to your surroundings, pay attention to the people around you and what's going on, so that if something does happen, you have a chance to defend yourself if you need to. You know? But if you're also like, listen, I just want to go to a place and have like a good time. Maybe I want to go to a store and pick up a few things. Do it. Just also be safe while you're doing it, you know? Cuz like I've been trying to spend a little bit more time outside lately and things like that, and I've been exploring some, some personal things lately and stuff like that, and that has involved me, going outside and going places. And you know, I had to definitely get
Airsoft
not
underscore
necessarily
Wabby.
get over a
Said
fear,
moo.
but what's up, Wabbit? So I didn't necessarily have to get over a fear, but more manage it. Because I'm still anxious when it comes to traveling. But, now I know how to get somewhere in town safely. You know?
Simon Oma. Said, are we getting to the Crystal Shop adventure segment of the chat?
I mean, I'm not going
Bot
to necessarily dive
921
into it, honestly.
Said moo indeed at airsoft underscore Wabby moo indeed.
What's up, Wabbit? How are we doing today? But I mean, yeah, Simon, like Simon knows. I've been exploring some stuff regarding my spirituality and stuff.
Airsoft underscore Wabby. Said
That
good.
did, I'm glad you're good. But that did involve me grappling with my anxiety, we'll say. And heading over to like a crystal shop and picking up some things there. Stuff like that. So, I'm just exploring, I'm figuring stuff out. And I'm trying
Airsoft underscore
to
Wabby. Said just had pizza for dinner.
Ooh, jealous. I want some. I had some yesterday, but I want some. Was it yesterday? No, it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday that I had pizza, because I was playing D&D and eating pizza at the same time. I did not play D&D yesterday. Big sad. But one of our players could not make it, so... And he was kind of important to what was going on, so we opted to not play. Which is mildly unfortunate, but that's okay. But yeah, basically what I'm saying is I got over my shit long enough to walk to a crystal shop. It was a 5-minute walk and stuff, but like
Simon
there was still
Oma.
that anxiety.
Said I'm going to get some dinner too.
Fair enough. I might be dropping off fairly soon as well, just for my own dinner. But we'll see in a little bit. But yeah, like my anxiety definitely did not go away 100%. Like, you don't just get over it. That's not how it works. But I was able to, keep it together long enough to go to a new place and deal with new people that I hadn't dealt with before and stuff. And for me, I used to not really have too much anxiety when it came to traveling, but after all of the things that happened to me, I definitely did not come out of it okay. And I'm still working on like healing from that and stuff. It's definitely taken me a really long time, and I'm sure I have a long way to go still, but I'm working toward it, and I felt like me doing this was a big step for that kind of deal. So there is that. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna try to go on, more walks. I found out that there is actually a path that runs along the river near my house a little bit. So there's a really, really nice place to just go out walking for a while. My ear is itchy. So I'm like, I guess I'll go there every now and then. And it's a little bit expensive, but there's like a tiny little like burger hot dog place there as well, just along the river. And I think it mainly just opens up in like the summertime and stuff. But like, it's a cool little communal space. And like, I talked about this on stream the other day too. When I was there, I ran into a dude with his dog, and he's just like, hey, so like, are you really blind? Like, I see you have the cane and stuff there, and I don't mean to come off like rude or whatever, but it's like, are you really blind? And I'm like, yeah. How many people do you run into faking disability, bud? That's my question. I know it happens sometimes, and the people that do it are horrible pieces of shit. But like, bruh. So it was a weird encounter. But outside of that, it wasn't too bad, honestly. It was a strange thing. I'm sorry, I'm like jumping from thing to thing at this point.
Swift Simeon said should pet the dog and say, wow, a talking dog.
The thing about that was the person was walking around with their dog not on a leash, which I'm pretty sure is actually illegal. Like they have to be leashed when you're in public. Thankfully, the dog was well behaved. Like the dog didn't really like walk up or attack anybody or anything like that. They were very, very well behaved and just chill there. But when the dude stopped to talk to me, the dog just kept walking. That dog was focused and did not even care that its owner just stopped to chat with me for a little bit. So it was kind of a weird encounter, to be honest, and it very much caught me off guard because I didn't really know how to respond at first. So it's just like, you know, I'm just like, what? Yeah, I'm blind. What? Huh? And like, I could tell just from the way he was talking to me, he really wasn't intending to be rude or anything. Like he was genuinely asking, but I was like, do you really run into that many people that fake their disabilities that you have to question that? I'm very confused. Or do you not really know about sight being a spectrum? Where's this coming from? I guess is my curiosity. But I didn't really ask because I didn't really want to have that conversation. So we eventually like parted ways pretty quick, and I just kind of let him go because I'm like, yeah, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to. Nope, no thanks. And then so I like carried on to the end of the path, and there was just like this little quiet spot at the end of the path where I just chilled for a while and just sort of vibed by the river. It was very, very nice. Like I was literally just watching the river, just the water go by and stuff. There were some geese playing in the river too, so that was cool. They weren't attacking anybody, so that was cool. Those things are terrifying. If you piss them off, did you know that those things can hiss at you and they have fucking teeth, like legitimate teeth? Fucking geese, man.
Airsoft_Wabbeat said yep.
They're terrifying. They're legitimately they will fight you. They will. Like if you see one, just go around. Like don't go near it. It's like they will legitimately, they'll hiss at you like a fucking snake and then they'll fight you. Like, no thank you. There's a reason people call them cobra chickens. Like, ugh. So I saw a few of them just kind of dicking around in the river, just chilling. So I'm like, okay, they ain't bothering nobody. I ain't gonna fuck with them. I'll just watch them. And they were just playing. On my way back, because I decided that I wanted to go home eventually, there were these two people chilling. They've seen me on my way in, so I guess they were just kind of vibing with the crowd there. Because there seems to be like a crowd of people, like a crowd of regulars that just goes there to hang out. Mainly to eat and stuff at the shop there, and things. So they were just kind of vibing, and they saw me come by, and they I guess flagged me down and were like, hey, so like, how does that cane work for you? And I'm like, okay, so in my head I'm like, I'm glad you know what it's called. So I'm explaining it to them, and just like, oh yeah, I can just feel the ground ahead of me, and it helps out and stuff. And they're like, yeah, but like, how does that work? And it's like, I mean, it just tells me what's ahead of me. So as far as finding my way goes, like, it doesn't tell me how to get somewhere. It just tells me what's ahead of me, a couple steps ahead at the very least, so that I don't bump into everything. Knowing where I'm going is a matter of, looking it up and finding my way around. So I ended up explaining to them, like, my vision and stuff. Like, I'm like, I have usable vision. It's crap, but it's there, So they're just like, oh, so you're partly blind. I'm like, yeah, yeah. You can definitely call it that. That's not inaccurate. So, like, it was one of those situations where I'm like, they were definitely willing to, it was like one of those things where, like, they're willing to learn, but it's very clear that, like, they were, I hate to say this because I don't want to be mean about it, but it's like, their ignorance was showing, I guess. But, like, it wasn't really an issue because they were willing to hear me out.
Airsoft_Wabbeat. Said the killer goose and the free dog. Is the title of that day lol.
Killer goose. Oh, shit. Thank you for that. But yeah, it's definitely been a while for me, like, to have to explain blindness in public. Most of the time I end up explaining it, it's usually like here on stream or something like that, like online. I don't often have to explain in public. So it was definitely an experience that I hadn't had in a very long time. I was one of those kids. That's not a bad idea, actually. I was one of those kids that felt the need to have a distinction.
Have a drink.
Ooh. Hang on. Ugh. Stretching. Ooh. No spine cracking. Okay. I think I'm just about out, yeah. Okay. Appreciate that. Drink has been had. I'm definitely out now.
Minivolve. Said Airsoft_Wabbeat rolled a d20 and got a 14.
Wabbit's going point crazy. No, but when I was a kid, I was definitely one of those kids that was like, I'm not blind. I'm legally blind, or I'm half blind, or whatever. Because so many people around me did not understand that, it was a spectrum. So to them, it was like blind equals no sight. If you have sight, then you're half blind. Like, if you have crappy sight, then you're half blind. Some people even worse. Sight equals sight, blind equals no sight. So they would assume if I wasn't able to read small print, rather than assuming, oh, hey, it's because her vision fucking sucks, it would be, oh, hey, you're not reading this because you're lazy. And I'm like, that's not how that works at all. So, had a lot of fun in school when I was a child. I started at the blind school when I was 7. So when I was in 2nd grade. And I stayed all the way up until I graduated high school. Before that, I went to a Catholic school. So that was that was a nightmare, honestly. And I've talked a little bit about the Catholic school before, so I'm not going to get into a ton of detail on it. Partly because I don't necessarily want to dive into my deep thoughts about Catholicism or Christianity in general. I have my personal issues with it. If you believe in either of those, you do you. That's, just because I have issues with it doesn't mean it's not something that you should believe, You do your thing. I am partly saying that to cover my ass, but also because I genuinely believe it. You do you. I've had some awful experiences regarding it, so I choose to stay away. That's my personal choice. But anyway, I ran into a lot of that going, like, when I was a kid. I was like, no, I'm not blind. I'm legally blind. And it's like, it's a spectrum. I'm saying the same fucking thing. Like, basically, I'm sitting here going, I'm not blind, I'm blind. Like, that is essentially what I'm saying. Which is the most redundant bullshit. It's
Swift
just,
Simeon
it's a
said legally blind, licensed to kill.
Yeah. I love it. But yeah, no, it's just like there isn't a distinction, it's just a spectrum. Which I guess you could argue is its own distinction. But it's like, I mean, ultimately call it what you want, really. But, blindness by definition does not.
Airsoft_Wabbied said K 4th and 6th in school, 7th, 12th homeschool, 5th 50-50.
Wild. Okay. I'm kind of glad I didn't do the homeschool thing. Not because I think homeschool is not a good thing to do, but mainly because my home life was toxic as hell, and I'm glad that I did not have to live in that 24/7. I know that a lot of people have
Airsoft_Wabbied said yup your mom lol.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit more. I do talk about my mom's toxic shenanigans a lot. There is definitely more to it than just that, but that, yeah, real big part of that. And like, I know a lot of people have like mixed feelings on homeschooling. Like, a lot of people would argue it's not great for various reasons. I do feel like there is a potential for not great shit happening through homeschooling. It really depends on how the person or the people taking part in it handle it, right? I don't think the issue is homeschooling in and of itself. Because a lot of people are like, oh, well, the people that are being homeschooled are very sheltered and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't think that's necessarily the case. There's definitely a big risk for that, depending on how, again, the parents deal with that. But, like, you gotta strike that balance between, school and still allowing people to be social. I don't know that I'm qualified to really dive into the nitty-gritty of it, to be honest, but, we got the ad break coming up. But, like, I don't know. I'm personally glad I didn't end up in homeschool, but I could see it working out for some people. Like, some people just don't really work that well in a classroom. And that's not their fault. So, like, I don't know. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing that I'm not going to necessarily dive into, to be honest. I'm just rambling at this point. I'm literally just rambling at this point. I have hit 2 hours. I have it 2 hours, and like I don't know that I want to like immediately end. I don't. I really don't. I don't want to immediately end. That sounds like a butt idea. But you know, when I was at the blind school, there was some shit. I have some horror stories about the blind school for sure. But when I was there,
Airsoft
I
underscore
definitely
Wabby
had a lot of opportunities
said
to
word,
be
word,
social.
word, and more words.
So much word. Let's see. When I was like when I started at the blind school, like I definitely had a lot more opportunities to be social and stuff, because not only would you have not only were you just around other kids and stuff, I basically lived there. I would go home for weekends and holidays and stuff like that. But outside of that, I was basically living there. So they had, they had a pool there and stuff that we had, you know, they would use for swimming lessons and basically gym classes and stuff. There was also like the gym
Airsoft
itself.
underscore Wabby said ads.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. But there was a lot going on there. So there was definitely plenty of space to, get that exercise in, which I had mixed feelings about, mainly because they were forcing me to do stuff that I didn't want to do. But that's a different discussion. Excuse me. But there was other stuff. I mean, mainly music, to be honest. They did try to force us into a few of the stereotypes. You were either good at sports or good at music. Because blind, which only some kids got to do art. But because I was always put in the in the higher graded programs and stuff, they're like, well, you should be focusing on academics instead of art, or instead of stuff that you actually like. And yet they would fight to get me out of classes that I needed, instead of letting me take them, and then give those classes to other kids who had higher support needs and were not physically able to take the classes they were shoved into. And they were like, oh, we want to give these kids a chance. And I'm like, but you're setting them up for failure. You're not giving them a chance. I'm like, you're giving these kids a pass, and then shoving the rest of us out, the rest of us that can do this thing. You're shoving us out and putting these kids in that physically can't do the thing that you're asking them to do. And half the kids I talked to were like, I didn't even want to be in this class. I wanted to be in this other one, and they put me here instead. So I'm like, you're actively ignoring. They were like actively ignoring what people actually wanted to do and putting them into classes they had no hope of passing. And then they wondered, why is our failure rate so high? Why the fuck are you wondering that? I could tell you why. So I got very, very frustrated with stuff like that. I got screwed out of a lot that I needed in order to get into what I wanted to do when I went to college. Which is why I took general arts and science instead, so that I can make up for the shit I got screwed out of. And then I got depressed and couldn't even finish that. So there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of baggage there, I'm not gonna lie. And then when I left school for good, pretty much, I started figuring stuff out on my own. I learned more about what I wanted to do from just doing what I wanted to do, rather than learning about it in a classroom. I basically taught myself all the stuff I was supposed to learn in college on my own, at my own pace. So while I do value education, and I do think it's important, the current system is very catered toward one specific type of learning. the fast track learning to get these kids into the workplace and not much else. Where, yes, you can pursue, you know, degrees and stuff to get into other things, stuff like that, but then the workforce kind of screws you over because it's like, you ever think about getting jobs, right? You look at some of like the requirements. You're like, oh, this is an entry level position where you need like 10 years of experience. Like, that's not entry. That's 10 years of experience. That is not fucking entry. And it's like, so they want you to have experience to get a job, right? But in order to get experience, you have to get a job. So how are you supposed to do that, right? Because like, and like, you know, you could volunteer or whatever, I guess. But that only gets you so far sometimes, because like, you know, sometimes they're like, well, have you had actual like experience in the workforce, like, you know, whatever, because you can only volunteer to do so many things, right? So like, I feel like that can only get you so far before you know, run into that wall again. So it's like, how am I supposed to get experience to get a job if I have to get a job to get experience? How do you... What? And like, I remember learning about that back in high school. Like, we had a co-op program and stuff where they would, you know, help you get a little bit of that experience and stuff. And in some cases that's led to people getting jobs and things, but my co-op placements were both in schools, right? Even if I did well in those placements, I would still need to pursue a shit ton of education before taking that job in the school. You know? I would still need to go through years worth of education. So it's like, even if I did well where I was at, which I did pretty alright, honestly. I worked as a teacher's assistant when I was in 12th grade for about half the year, with a 6th grade class and stuff. I helped them a lot with like math and stuff like that. When we'd have our math period, they would, I would get about half the class while the teacher focused on the other half. And I would help them with their assignments and stuff. And it was fine. Like, it went pretty well. Like, we would just get like a little space in the library. We would just, you know, kind of vibe, do some math. And then, my second half of the year, I actually worked with my school's music therapist. And she worked primarily in the deaf-blind program, which you're probably thinking, they're deaf and you're having them do music stuff? It works better than you'd think. Because a lot of them, some of them weren't profoundly deaf, some of them could in fact hear, but a lot of them would just feel it out. They would just, you know. So, and it was really cool with me because at the time I played bass. So, you can literally feel the bass. You know, so sometimes we would do, and like, these were all younger kids that I was working with and stuff like that. So, a lot of them were nonverbal, and stuff like that. So, I had to make up a sign for my name and stuff like that. It was really, really fun. And when every single time a class would come in, we'd have this like good morning song that was like a routine for a lot of them. So we do this like good morning song. So I would come around and let them, you know, pluck some of the strings on the bass as we were doing our little song. Like, I would play a couple notes, and when it got to their turn, I'd let them reach out and touch the bass, and they would know because they would literally feel when I was done, right? They would literally feel when I was done. And there were some sassy kids in that group.
Said sorry I haven't said anything. I'm lurking. Sucrose Wiggly.
You're good, dude. I appreciate you. But yeah, we had some sassy kids in that group, honestly. Because, like, there was this one kid, right? Who, he still had some pretty high support needs, but like he was a really really clever dude, really really clever. Um, I feel like he had a lot more intelligence than the school gave him credit for. Because anytime I would interact with this dude, they'd tell me, "Oh, you know, he's got this going on. He's got, you know, low whatever." And I'm like, "That's not what I'm fucking seeing. I don't know what you guys are doing, but this dude's smart as fuck." There was one time we were doing the Good Morning song, so I let him reach out and touch the bass like usual, and he did a little bit, and his teacher made a joke. I forget what it was, but it was a genuinely innocent and funny joke. And this dude takes my hands after this comment was said. I genuinely forget what the comment was, but it made me laugh because it was like joking about, it was like some sort of joke about this kid being done. Like, oh, you might be, you know. So this kid, in response to his teacher, and keep in mind this kid's profoundly deaf, unable to hear anything, right? He was not looking at his teacher or anything like that. He was squarely looking at me, looking at the bass, you know. He takes my hands, and he has me sign finished. So I'm like, okay, you're done, right? But it was like the timing of that was perfect. It was like a response. So his teacher responds, "Hey, you're supposed to be deaf, quit listening." And we all just start laughing because it was just really funny the way it worked out. So this dude, I'm like, you know what you did though. Like, I'm looking at this dude, I'm like, you know exactly what you did, bud. I respect you. Like, I respected this kid before, but after that moment, that respect was cemented, like, permanently. He was very fun to work with. His whole, like, that whole class that kid was in, probably one of my favorite classes to work with. They were so much fun. And they all were. All the classes that I worked with were fun. And, like, again, this was back in the day when I was really, really into, like, really focused on, you know, playing bass and trying to improve my skills. But, like, y'all know how that worked out, or I guess didn't.
Swift
But,
Simeon said I spent all my time in music class trying to learn for release.
I got you. That's a classic. That's a classic. But I spent the last half of my grade 12 year, the mornings, pretty much, I got to play music every day, except for Fridays, for the entire morning. From the moment the announcements were done to lunchtime, I would be playing bass, essentially. And then there would be music practice at night, and then music class, that once a week music class. There would be the choir that I was a part of, and any extra music stuff I did. And the rest of my time at that school for that last half of the year was just me completely dissociated because I was so fucking done with that place. I did not want to be there. So the only time I was really clued into reality was while I was participating in some sort of musical something, or just not in, like, class time. So it'd be like I was watching myself from a distance for the majority, or for like half my day, until I'd go back to the dorm after school and watch Star Trek, and then all of a sudden I'm back. I completely, halfway through, I completely forgot what my schedule was. I had no idea what classes I was supposed to be in. I had no idea where I was supposed to be at what time. But somehow, I would always be where I was supposed to be at whatever time. Because, like, it was just muscle memory. I had literally nothing going on in there. Like, I was just gone most, like, half that day. And I'm like, how did I get through school? And I passed on the honor roll, completely dissociated. I don't know how I pulled that off. I should not have been able to pull that off. But then also I realized that the standards for getting into the honor roll at that school were insanely low. So I got into honor roll with low 70s. So I'm just like, that shouldn't be honor. That shouldn't be honor. Like, I would think 80s, maybe. Because that's supposed to be like a really, you know, that's supposed to be for like your top students, not like the majority, right? But they thought it was honor. So somehow I passed every class, somehow I did all that completely fucking dissociated. And like, I shouldn't have been able to do that. I shouldn't have been able to pull that off. So for a long time I didn't go back. I didn't actually start going back until like 2 years ago at this point, or I guess 3. Something like that. Almost 4. Holy shit. Kind of crazy to think about, actually. Anyway, I didn't start going back until that one time my sister invited me, essentially, for the 150th birthday celebration, alumni choir mashup thing. And like, you know, outside of Celebration Day and the reunions and stuff, I really don't pay that place any mind. Because there's a love-hate. I have a love-hate relationship with that school. It did a lot right, but it also did a lot wrong. So it's kind of a whole thing. I have friends that refuse to go for any reason, refuse to return there for any reason, because that place absolutely, like, some of the people there did such a number on their mental health that they refuse to even acknowledge it. So that school has a lot of good, but just as much bad. So that's a whole other conversation, to be entirely fair. So yeah, sorry for diving into all that, to be fair. You know, I'm trying to think. We've talked about a ton of shit today. We really have. I'm almost wondering if I should head out and grab dinner. I'm not, like, terribly hungry. I had Tim Hortons a little bit, like, maybe about an hour and a half before I started. What time is it now, actually? I can tell my voice is starting to go a little bit, too. Oh, holy shit. Sorry, I'm looking at a notification on my phone. Hold on a second. So I ordered, okay, sorry. I'm immediately very excited. So several months ago, like back in February, there was this Kickstarter campaign for really, really big polyhedral dice. The type that you'd use for like D&D and stuff. These are 22mm dice. They're huge. Like an entire 7-piece set. I have been looking for dice like that for literal years that are big enough for me to actually read. Years. And the most I could find up until this point was like decorative D20s and stuff, which Those are cool, but I'm looking for an entire fucking set instead of just decorative, right? So it's taken them a while because they've run into a few delays and stuff, and I knew it was a risk because, you know, Kickstarter. But I just got a notification that they've finally been shipped. I don't know when they're gonna get here, but holy shit. Okay. When did I get this message? So I'm trying to figure out if it's telling me that they're out to be delivered or if they've been shipped. I'm honestly not sure. I think it's saying that they're out for delivery. Is there like a tracking link that I can look at this? I'm sorry. I'm so excited, y'all. Oh my god. I'm gonna do like an unboxing video when I get them. Only necessary cookies, please. I don't want you to... Okay. Okay. Okay, they've been picked up, so they're not... Okay. So, that makes sense. So they've been picked up, they're gonna be sent to me soon. Okay, yo, I'm fucking excited, dude. I'm gonna do an unboxing when I get those things.
Said I like the idea of having cool dice, but it's a slippery slope.
I do, so this will be my second set of dice. I do not look for them often because, again, if I'm gonna get them, I want to make sure that I can read them. Right? So, these dice, the dice I look for are ones that I can actually use and read and stuff like that. I am not, by any means, a dice collector of any kind. So when I see dice, I see them and I think, oh, they're so pretty, that would be cool to have, but I don't pick them up because chances are they're normal sized dice. So I don't see the point of having them if I can't even read them, personally. But I can definitely understand that slippery slope 100%. I think the only reason I haven't slipped into that is just because of my own personal priorities that I've had to strictly stick to. And I do mean very strictly. But I'm sorry, I saw these jumbo-ass dice, and I'm like, I can read these! I'll be able to actually play with them and use them in... Just... I'm excited. So... I'm sorry, I'm gonna buy the accidentally accessible thing. I have heard that there are other companies that also have giant dice, but, like, I haven't really looked into them much. These ones are from Otherworldly Dice. So they had 3 different types. They had one that's, like, purple and gray, and they named them all after songs. So the purple and gray one is called Purple Haze. They have a blue and green one called Earth Angel, and I'm getting the black and red because it has the best contrast with the white lettering, or numbering. And that one's called Bad Blood. So they're all very pretty. You should be able to find them if you look it up. Maybe you might be able to still find the campaign, but, like, I don't think they're taking any more, like, pledges at this point, because they're already sending them out and stuff. But, like, it was like successfully funded within like a day. Like, people wanted this. It's great. Like, I think they had about 100 and something orders and were able to get them. So I definitely spent a good chunk of cash on them. They were not cheap, but I figured for a one-time purchase of something that I can actually use and read, it was worth it. And now I know it's coming. Like, this is a legitimate thing that's been created and sent out. And they actually sent a ton of updates on how things were going. So if there was a delay, it's like, we knew there was a delay, we knew why there was a delay. Oftentimes there'd be a picture or two accompanying it showing like, hey, like, this is in fact a thing that's happening. We are not screwing you over. We just ran into a few little unforeseen things that happened, and we are working on them, you know? And I think their last update was like last week or something. So, they're on track with their new schedule. So I'm very excited about this. I'm going to be like checking on that like obsessively the next couple of days. I cannot wait for this to get here. I'm very excited. I don't often get to pick up stuff like this because again, I don't see the point if I can't see them, right? If I had more sight, I would absolutely be a dice goblin and I would go broke. So, yay for being blind? Side note, not every dice goblin is broke. That's not how that works. I just know how I work. Alright, y'all. I think with that little bit of excitement, I'll definitely be doing like an unboxing when they get here, and I'll show it off probably in the Discord or something. Because, I don't know, I just think it'd be cool to share with people. I'm excited for them. Anyway, I think with that, I think we're at a point where I am going to call it here, and I'm gonna go get myself some dinner. I'm gonna go ahead, for anyone that's new that might still be sticking around, drop my Discord link here in chat. So yeah, thank you guys so much for chilling with me today. Thank you so much for all the game suggestions. I'm definitely going to be looking into those over the next couple of days and compiling a list of future games that we will tackle eventually. But it'll be like a whole thing where y'all can vote on what we do first. So keep an eye on the Discord if you want in on that, or if you want in on the anime watch parties, and just general notifications on stuff, or just chat. That's cool too. Either way, it'll be good to hear from you. If not, that is also okay. Your call entirely. But yeah, thanks again. I'm gonna head out, so I will see you on Monday. What's going on Monday? Minish Cap. That's what we're doing. So I will see you for Minish Cap on Monday. But until then, I will catch you on the flip side. Have yourselves a good rest of your night. Peace!
Swift Simeon said good night, everyone.